Today's guest is one of the most gifted and celebrated filmmakers in Sri Lanka, with a number of hit movies to his credit. Often referred to as a true visionary of local cinema, he also founded and performed with the now-defunct 90s psychedelic punk rock band Boodee and the Woozies. He is none other than Boodee Keerthisena.
Okay, so as we said, we have the great Boodee Keerthisena, or Boodee, as he's very, very fondly known. Boodee, it's so great to have you here on the show. We met up some years ago and we tried to do this and we did it, but it didn't come to fruition. So I was really, really insistent that I get you today. Yeah. And you were nice enough to give us the time because I know you have a busy day with your kids' plan. Boodee, so I just want to talk to you a little bit. Obviously, you are a bit of a legend when it comes to the movie industry, and you put your hands into other pies as well. You know, you've done some amazing commercials in the advertising industry as well. So I thought we'll start from the beginning, right? Yeah. And let's go back to when you were a kid. Where did you get the idea of, where did you get the thrill to kind of get into film and take a camera into your hand, or how did that happen for you?
Okay, I have to explain two things.
Right.
I think it comes from my great great grandfather.
Right.
Because he used to be in something called theater, like like from Eddie Jayamanas, even the senior crowd then.
Right.
And they had something called Violet Hall, and then my father got into that because my great-great-grandfather sent my father to learn about fabric in India, and then they cast Father Gemini Ganeshan and people like Shivaji Ganeshan, all these people, and then he got crazy about movies and he made a cinema next to, that was the first one.
Oh, wow, okay.
Before Boodee, but it's the
Right.
one first came in.
So that was Cinema Boodee, or no, that's something else?
Darshana Cinema.
Okay, that's...
And then growing up with that, I was watching movies, and it was like my father's life was like exactly like if you've seen the Tornatore's Cinema Paradiso.
Yes.
Just like that.
Right.
And growing up with the cinema next to me, then I got inspired, and Spielberg is the one who really inspired.
What was the first Spielberg movie that you watched that influenced you?
Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Yeah.
Why? Because when we were going to, my father used to have Boodee batik exhibitions all over the world.
Right.
And especially in Europe. And then in
How long we went? Was 70s, 80s?
70s, there was West Germany.
Wow, okay.
East and West Germany.
Right.
So we went once in 1975 to West Germany, and then he took us to London to see, and then at every subway, you call it underground.
Right, underground, yeah.
We saw there's a poster going, "We are not alone." And I'm like, it had like a road with those, really care, like
the hard markers, yeah.
"We are not alone." And I was, totally baffled by it. And when I got back home, there was Nasta's video in Colpit supermarket.
That's right. Gilbert Plaza, right?
Yeah, and went there, and they also had this poster, and I asked, "What is this?"
Nice, you made the link.
Yeah. Pros and Encounters of the Third Kind. And I took it home, and I watched this. It's about UFOs. I was
Blown away.
already at that time, now Jayashree, but at that time, Sarandeep, Rohita, and myself, we were totally into UFOs.
Right. How old were you then, Bud?
I must have been around, I don't know, maybe I was...
In your teens?
Yeah, I was in grade 7, 8, something.
Oh, okay. So by 13, 14, yeah.
Yeah. And Rohit and I, because they live in Nathandi, we live in Koswadi, it's about 4-5 kilometers away. And we went to the same school, Marstala. And we talked about these UFOs, this and that and everything. So I wanted to write a screenplay, means a story.
Right.
And by that time, Mangala had already come into our Boodee Batiks as a designer.
Yes.
As an minister.
Yeah. He had a label, right? Paradise or something. I remember back in the day he had some label, right?
No, Cross and Blood.
Ah, that's right.
Cross and Blood, it means cross plus blood. Yeah.
Very gothic. No?
It was like one of the best designers.
Right.
Across right? I mean, he's the one who introduced me to many other things as well, because
Right.
I'm jumping out of this
Thoughts? Yeah, that's okay. No problem.
I remember once I went to his house and there was this tape, cassette tape, addressed to Prince Mangala Innocence.
Right. Innocence. That's right. That was his thing.
That's Mangala Innocence. It goes like,
Oh, okay. I thought that was a label. First was a label. So for people who are wondering, this is Mangala Samara. Peace. Yes. Passed away, yes.
and there was this thing, and I was like, what is this now? It's my friend Sade. She had done the demo in
Bloody hell. Shadi.
They studied together. Sade, Boy George, they're all classmates.
Wow, okay.
And she had done a demo of her second album in Hikkaru.
Right.
And he just played it to me and blah, blah. So anyway, that's another side of it.
That's another.
So getting back to
The movie
Still-
script, yeah.
at Mangala's house, he rented from one of my uncles and other friends from the village. We got together. There was a friend of mine called Eric. He used to work at the VC, Village Council.
Right.
He was an electrician. Him and myself, we started writing a story on UFOs and blah, blah, blah. But we didn't know how to do it. Look at those lights like flashing and those encounters.
Yes, yes.
And we didn't know nothing about it. Then I thought, I have to learn about this craft.
Right.
So I told my father I want to learn film.
He must have got shocked.
He got shocked that
So he would have wanted you to take on the family business, right?
and then when I was talking about it, Mangala said, you better go to New York, because by that time he had already introduced me to David Bowie, his music, Lou Reed, Iggy Pop, the whole
The psychedelic, yeah.
and Roxy Music, Brian Ferry.
Right, nice.
And he said, because I said, I want to go to Italy or France or England. He said, no, go to New York. Andy Warhol lives there. David Bowie lives
Yeah, the culture, yeah.
yeah. And Woody Allen lives there. So I was like, wow, okay, this is like the place. So I went to New York City to study filmmaking, and ended up in School of Visual Arts. And, after
Graduated.
it's only I got to get my dreams come true, like
Right.
actually meeting face to face with Bowie, working at, because I got a very rare chance to work at Philip Glass's studio.
Right.
Yes, Philip Glass. And meeting people like Alan Ginsberg and all those, because I'm working with them most. So anyway,
How just to touch on it, not everyone gets to meet people like how was your meeting with David Bowie?
it was a very brief meeting, because my friend told me, because I met a guy, because I had no job.
It's in New York.
Yeah, New York City, Manhattan. I had no job. I need to earn some money. So a friend of mine called Joy, she told me, why don't you talk to my friend John Marks, who's working at Tower Records? Maybe you can get a job there.
Right. Wow.
I called. I went to, at that time, Tower Records was the biggest record store in.
Yeah. Of course.
And so I went there. I got a job. While working, I met a guy called Stephen Farber.
Right.
And he told me he's in between jobs, because he's actually working for Philip Glass, and
Right.
he had produced David Bowie's Low album with Brian Eno, Philip Glass, and David Bowie.
Nice.
And I'm like, these are my heroes. How? He said, pick up that CD over there.
My name is there.
His name is there.
Right.
And I was like, wow. One day he called me and said, hey, you wanna like earn extra few bucks? I like, yes, sure. You can come and work at Looking Glass Studios. That's Philip Glass's studio.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, I'm there. I'll do it for free. At that time when I was there, working there, that was the period David Bowie was making Earthling.
Right.
And our friend Dante Di Sol was the sound engineer for Bowie. And we had very brief moments, because my friend always told me, don't disturb him, because he's in his mood and doing these things. Then I had to do another video for a friend called John Moran. He was known as the protege of Philip Glass. He had done Mansion Family Opera, there's Killers,
He had mentioned, yeah.
and everything. So I needed to do something with him, and he worked with in his album. Actually, it's Iggy Pop's voice,
Right.
Iggy Pop and all these people, and then so I was very fortunate to be
Of course,
that
100%.
place at that time, because I'll tell you, fast forward this. When I was in Sri Lanka, I had a TV series called Pata Pata. It's about architects and all these crazy colors.
Right.
So I wanted to eat Dr. Clark.
Right.
So he was living at that.
Of course, yes.
He gave me a chance.
I met him a couple of times.
Yeah. So he was a nice. He always sweet.
Otters. He used to be at Otters.
But I went to his
Right.
aunt's place.
Right.
And he had a chat. What were you doing in New York? I said, I was doing this and that. I worked with Philip Glass and, Allen Ginsberg. And he was like, look over there. Have a picture over there. Do you see that? And I was looking at it. Wow, that's Arthur C. Clarke, Allen Ginsberg, and William S. Burroughs.
Wow.
I was like, wow. So those guys are friends. Those guys were friends and they knew each other.
Right.
I was like so thrilled to,
Be in that company. Yeah.
loop of that.
And the really crazy thing is all this came from you working at Tower Records.
Yeah.
So Boodee, so now you had this amazing opportunity to meet all these people and just like a sponge absorb all this culture and everything that you learned. So did you actually produce anything? Did you do any small short stories while you were in New York?
Yeah, I actually there was when it comes to keep on the subject. Then I did a video with my friend Steve, Philip Glass, and Jean Moran and Allen Ginsberg.
Right.
I did a documentary, small documentary.
Right.
And then I had to do short films for my school. And some of those guys are actually pretty well known. My roommate at that time, Morton Tildum, is like, he's did the Imitation Game.
Right. Imitation Game is.
All those things. So, some of them went like really up there. And my other roommate, Spencer Tunick, he really wants to come and do a masterclass.
Right. Oh, yeah.
He's a photographer, and he's the one who, if you go to Google and you'll see thousands naked people covering squares and buildings, even the Sydney Opera House.
Right. That's him. So, Boodee, I'm just a bit curious now. Having this education in film in New York, what made you didn't? I mean, obviously you came back to Sri Lanka and you did great things, but you were not tempted to stay there and try to pursue new movies there?
Yeah, I was, and I was going to do a film called How Big Was My Country.
Right.
That's about some gods coming down to earth and trying to recreate the Ramayana and all.
Did you write the script? Or?
Yeah. Okay. And I went to my teacher, the Iranian filmmaker Ramin Naimi.
Right.
And I asked Ramin, I have 2 screenplays here. One is called Wild Heaven, that is Miller's one. The other is called How Big Was My Country.
Right.
This, and I've already approached Iggy Pop and Ruchi Sakamoto, blah blah. And Steve Buscemi,
Steve Buscemi as well. Wow.
Steve told me, if you have a good script, then you talk to me, I'll come. Because we had a mutual friend called Forrest Wise, and he did a movie called Life is Nice, and Steve was in it. And then I used to always, either call him or hang out, and he would say like, okay, let's go have a coffee walking the baby.
Right.
The daughter baby.
Okay.
So, we had a little thing going on, and he would say like, we are having a play at Rich Theatre. Not Rich, I'm sorry, that was the other one. Anyway, so
Right.
you can come, and we blah blah blah. So anyway, back to the subject.
Yeah.
So these people, I mean, this is one good place to be at, New York City.
Right.
There are people.
Okay.
But you shouldn't jump on them like, turn and say, you should very subtle. For an example, when I first met David Byrne of Talking Heads.
Of course, yeah.
And I was talking to my other clerk about Doom. Then I heard another customer in the line saying, I didn't like the director's cut. And I looked at it.
This is David Lynch's original dude, yeah.
Yeah. It was guy with the baseball cap, tall guy. I mean, that's David Boodee talking it. And I'm like, with Boodee and the Uzies, we covered so many.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I want to get to that. Yeah.
Psycho Killer.
Yes.
God, this, like, I know my friends say, like, be cool. Don't even talk about their work yet. Just, then I said, yeah, you know what, that's right. But aren't you going, because he had, by that time, David Byrne already
Retired, no?
No, directed a movie. Not
Directed a movie. I didn't.
No. He had directed, can't remember the name of the movie, one movie.
Right.
And I was like, aren't you going to do another movie?
Right.
Well, I tried last year. I tried this year. I'll try next year again.
Right.
So, so that was subtle enough. Then
Right.
I know it.
And then he feels comfortable to talk to you as well. You're like hero worshipping all the time. So, Boodee, so now, okay, so you obviously had this amazing time in New York. Now, I know I want to really get to Boodee and the Woosies as well, because I remember seeing you guys on ITN back in the day, and you guys were always very flamboyant. Well, you were with your outfits and all that.
I can keep my fists up to fire. I'm tense of nervous and can't relax. I can't sleep cause my bed's on fire. Don't touch me, I'm a real live fire. Psycho killer, better. Run away. Oh, oh, oh. Psycho killer, better. Run away. Oh, oh,
But did Boodee and the Woosies come before you left to New York, or is it after?
No, before I left it.
Okay, so just to give it some kind of context, so Boodee had a band in the 80s called Boodee and the Woosies. I remember when, because I also was always gravitating towards different kinds of bands. You got your usual club bands, but when I saw you guys, I remember something struck a chord with me, because you guys were always different, you know. And the music you all played were like Talking Heads and Psycho Killer and all this stuff. So, and I remember you all had a nice original as well. I think you shared that on Facebook recently with that hot bird with the black dress, right? So just tell us a little bit. So I'm sure lots of people remember Boodee and the Woosies as well. So tell us, how did the band come together in the 80s?
Okay, I was at, with my father going from Colombo to Koswadi, my village, where we called it Maravita because everybody knows then. Devala තියෙනවනේ දෙයියන්ව තින්වයි කියන. So we went to a Deva, there was දෙයියන් වන්දන තැනක් කියලා. Then I saw a bunch of my friends in not motorbikes but
Spikes.
and I was like talking to them. They said, Machan, we have to go. I was like, why? We have practice. What practice? At this time of the night? Band practice. And, oh, you have a band? And they said, yeah. Can I also come and sing? They said, okay, bring a song and practice with us. So I went through some of the songs and I thought, okay, Putting Out Fire. Bowie's Cat People singing song, Putting Out Fire. I chose that and I went. And I went to their rehearsal room. I mean, actually, if you watch Millesware, the rehearsal room in that is
Right.
same.
Oh, okay.
I mean, not
You recreated it.
yeah, created there. So they had two Tangus guitars,
Right.
and Safina was the
That's awesome, though.
two chairs
What the drums?
with sticks from the venta.
So this is the band practice.
Yes.
Okay.
And then I gave them music, and
But before you gave the music, what were they playing before they met you? Like, what were they practicing? Local songs, single songs, or?
singer and English. English ones would be like Lodi,
Right.
Tell People.
Right.
I completely
Totally reversed it, yeah.
and I played the thing to the lead guitar because I knew it was complicated.
Right.
I was listening like this. Okay,
What was the song? What was the song? Was it Psycho Hit? Putting Out Fire.
Cat People thing song.
Yes.
and it's Bowie song, and then he listened to it for about 10-15 minutes. Okay, come back in 3 days. I went back. Oh, I got the lead part. Everybody got their part.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So we needed a name to the band.
Right.
And I was saying Breaking Hearts, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And then I went to Mangal. He said, oh, there's something called Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. And no. You go Boodee Woozies. Boodee Woozies. Because there were only two people who used to call me Boo. Buddhi nahi.
Oh.
So that was, one is Mangal and the other one is Rohit of Jash.
Right.
And I said Boodee Woozies. Then something was missing.
Right.
So we came up with Boodee and the Woos.
Hey, it worked out well, right? How long were you all together for? A few years, right?
From like 85 to like 92. Even though I went to New York in 87,
Right.
I was back and forth, and these guys were doing reps.
Right.
We would do some different gigs, and when I'm here, they will.
I remember watching one video. Well, it's not a video, but it was like you're performing live on ITN, not for you have been acting. But you had this studded glove on your hand, and you used to come near the camera. You're wearing like a kimono or something, and you come near this camera and do. And the ear cross to George Michael. And yes. And your hair was like. But I always thought. Of course, I didn't know who the Kyo was back then. Then later on, when I grew up, I learned about the Kyo. I always thought you were kind of fashioning yourself on Robert Smith of the Cure.
You're right. I grew my hair like Robert Smith.
Right.
Now David Bowie was ultimate, but Bowie is like,
He's different, a chameleon, right? Yeah.
as a comedian, and even Ricky Gervais is calling rock god or what.
Yes.
So it's different. You can't reach in. So Kiowa, Robert Smith was more like.
Because Robert Smith, a guy, he didn't care. Like he just puts by, just doesn't.
And I was into gothic.
Right.
Got music and all the whole.
Did you guys listen to a lot of Cure back in the day?
Sorry?
Did you listen to like albums like Disintegration and all that?
Now, Disintegration was when I was in America.
Oh, okay, right.
Before that, Mangal used to bring a lot of love cats.
Oh, right.
Before that,
Yes.
So he used to bring, and I used to listen, because at Buddhi Batik's his design and studio.
Mangala seems like a real character from back in the day, right?
Oh yeah, he was a character.
Very. So you had these songs, and how did I remember seeing you on television, but did you all play any live gigs?
Yeah.
And how was the crowd's reaction for you guys?
Those days, live gigs were not big as today. So Palliya Mangala church fees, because my band is from that area, like in Toduava, Mahal.
Church fees, my gosh, okay.
It's like those days, like 5-10.
The Psycho Killer church fees?
Psycho Killer, just my God, putting out for.
Classic song for a church fee.
When we first went into the first gig, everybody was like,
in a good way or in a bad way?
just book up. And then my legs start shaking. That was the dance. Then let's dancing, pretend that I'm dancing. And then we all went to the mics and we were like, and they stopped going. We started our kick, and I remember after the first gig, there was we had to travel, so we were waiting for transport. There was no proper transport. Right. That Saravita guy, he came towards me. I was sitting on like a little
Slab or something?
yeah, slab or something, and then he came in. I think he liked our song, so he gave me a toffee. Okay. And I was like, oh, thank you.
A fan.
Saravita guys.
But but it was good. Like, I don't know if you know it. Like, for people like me, like I was watching, and even at that young age, I used to always be gravitated towards people who did their own music. So I used to like. Obviously there were a lot of bands like Purple Rain, and Purple Rain did a lot of originals, and they were very good. Joe Thambi Muthu, I think, wrote a lot of good songs.
He did some stuff.
Bass, yeah, good bass player.
Also.
Yeah.
That
Keerthisena?
No, for Lakshman Joseph Assembly in the music,
Right.
And he did. We did one song. Build the Bunda.
Amore, yeah, he's the best. Yeah, very talented guy. So I used to always listen to people like that who even Aldrin Gum again, and then of course Aston Cork, and I saw you guys. Like there was no one like you guys. Because you guys just like even the band, like okay, you were quite flamboyant and all, but even the band, you're dressed in a weird way and you're playing in a weird way. So I was like, what the hell is this? But I was really interested in it, I was like, wow, this is so different, So I was always curious how the crowd perceived it, and this and that. It's so different.
Especially in our area, when we played those Bowie songs, Out Fire and everything, young guys loved it. I don't know if this Saradigan, normal single listening crowd, I don't know, but the young guys loved it.
Did you do stuff like Modern Love and stuff like that?
We rehearsed because we rehearsed Modern Love, but we only performed one day.
It's very good.
Yeah,
was that? Yeah. Palm it a little bit and play it in.
And it was only one day we played, but we did Heroes. We did.
Right.
And we did about 3 or 4 our originals, Hunting for Love, and I wrote Hunting for Love, and
that's the song, Hunting for Love. That's the one with the video.
Keerthisena Silva did the choreography for that.
Right. Yeah, it was quite hardcore.
And I can't believe those days.
And you were smoking, right? Yeah.
They used to play it on my IT.
IT and ඒ කාලේ තිබෙන restriction. Right.
Today you can't do it.
So what was the industry like back then? And did you all ever rub shoulders with the bigger bands? And were there any controversies? Who are these kids coming and try to do this weird music? No.
Jayasvi, that is Serandi, was totally supportive.
Right.
Like they were like the brothers. Sometimes they will hand over their gigs. They used to always help me because one thing, Rohit and I are still good.
Yes, of course. And you have also helped them out a lot. They did the soundtrack to some of your movies as well, right?
So I was the one who did their first music video with Sulandumin and Rice. So anyway, when we
gigs,
so they would hand over gigs to us and like, Machan, we are going for a wedding because the weddings would pay more.
Of course.
So make sure, Machan, anta shape kal they make so we used to cover for them, and sometimes for our recordings there are some songs Rohit playing drums and Rohan playing bass, some of our original songs. So in the recording stuff. So they helped us a hell of a lot.
Okay.
And Nalin told me about few years back, Machan,
that is from Marians? Okay.
It's a Balanon Mama stage balangin on it. But that's right cool. Today hearing from Nalin, he's a big giant guy, in the music.
And also when you listen to the stuff that Nalin does, you wouldn't think he would have been interested in what you all were doing back in the day. It's crazy, right?
Yeah, but I know the music is music, no?
Music is music.
For example, one day my father said, "Apute me arame sompalankalanikua aitilnike."
Oh, and Chitra's dad.
Chitra's father. That's when they got the Psycho Killer recorded, and he was so sick.
You have put that on, no?
I passed out, but I was so good. I'm sadder than that you'll ever know. I close my eyes on this sunny day. Say something once, say it again. Psycho killer. Better run away. Psycho killer.
I think stations like ITN did a lot for the music industry with people like Leon Bennett and Harold, I think, Michael Harold. And they did that. Okay, so Boodee, so now that's the music, your little thing that you heard. But then you came back to Sri Lanka and you started your film career, right? Now, I remember the first movie I ever saw from you was at the Regal Cinema. I can't remember actually why I went for it, but I'm also a huge student of film. So I think someone may have told me this is some different kind of movie. You should go check this out. So I went on my own. ඒ කාලේ ඉතින් සිංහල movies බලන්න කවුරුවත් එන්නේ නැහැ. ඉතින් මම ගියා because this was in the 90s, so the movie industry had gone down a little bit. So it was a movie called Sina Deshe.
Sina Deshe.
And I remember watching it at the Regal Cinema.
සමහර ප්‍රශ්න වලට පිළිතුරු තියෙනවා.
සර් හොඳ මහත්තයෙක්.
මෙච්චර මිරිස්ථානේ මාව මරන්නද? මං හිතන්නේ තෝ වෙන එකෙක් උඟාත්තු කරේ.
මේ කෝල කරුණාකර පොඩ පස්සට එන්න කරුණාකර කිරි දෙන්නකෝ. දැන් යන්න පොඩ පස්සට කිරි දෙන්න ඉතින් බලන්න. ලබයින් කෑලි.
මම ලෙනින්. ඔය නම පට බැන්දේ යාළුවෝ. ගෙදරිනුත් නමක් දුන්නා. ඒක ඔය පෝරම කොළ පුරවන්න. මම ගමේ කොල්ලෙක්. රාජිත. නගරේ මට හොඳට හිට රැල්ලුවා. මම කම්පියුටර් සයන්ස් කරනවා. පරිගණක විද්‍යාව. ලෙනින් මගේ රූමා.
And I have to tell you, bro, I was like totally blown away by
Mahendra fella coming out of water and going.
yes, and then that body paint of that foreign lady, a girl, and not only that, not for the skin and all that. It's just the concept of it all. So the scope was so big. I was thinking, oh my God, like cut. It was like nothing we had seen, you know. So I was thinking, oh my God, like who did this? Then only I started finding out. Then I made the connection that you were Boodee from Boodee and the Woosies, you know. And I was really happy. Then I watched almost all your movies. And so just tell us a little bit of how it felt like to study film in New York and meet all those people and come here and do your own movies. How was that like?
Yeah, so like I was saying earlier that I had two scripts. One was called How Big Was My Country. And that's the one that I had Steve Buscemi and Iggy Pop and all these Ruchi Sakamoto guys.
Right.
And that saying, being a good script, we could work with it.
Right.
And on this hand, I had Wild Heaven, which is Minnesota.
Right.
And I spoke to my teacher. He said, he listened to both stories. He said, I think your heart is in this one, Boodee. Minnesota. Go make that. And he was right. Because the other, I had my heart in both, but this was my story.
Right.
And you know that Boodee and the Roses.
Yes.
In that movie, the band that.
Yes, of course.
So
yeah.
Italy.
Yes.
We were, our boys, all of them want to go to Italy, and there's a whole.
Did they ever succeed in going to Italy? And if your boy?
My drummer, my keyboardist went back, came back.
How are they? They're doing all right? They're good?
The band leader is doing good.
Right.
He's the bass player. He's doing very good.
Right.
So, so I did that move.
Right.
And actually, it was the right choice.
Yeah, it was quite successful for you, and it had a nice little soundtrack as well. Woody, like, I have seen, like, I think, okay, yes, you studied the craft and everything, but also I think you have a very good eye, and also I think you also strive to be very creative, because I remember seeing that advertisement you did about that guy in the island. Island, like, you know, I remember reading about it.
Dilip wrote the thing. That's a funny thing. I'll tell you a funny story about it. Now, Dilip wrote the thing for Everready.
Right. Every battery, yes, that's right.
And Medupateliak, blah, blah, blah. And I think we won awards or whatever. So, I was about 2 weeks away from start shooting of Milleswar.
Right.
I had my DP coming from director of photography coming from New York, and he's also Moshe Benyai.
Right.
And I took him, what the hell, you are not doing anything, let's go ahead. Chandan Deshapriya was our cinematographer, and we had to go make our Martin Vikramasinghe Ganga that area, as we had to shoot there.
Right.
And so we all got into the boat, and light is going down. We all in the middle of this thing. We had to say that Medu Pateli and and like,
Oh, reporter ke dekh Camilo.
script. Nobody has this script. Not even the director, not even the assistant,
Right.
even the writer, Dilipa basically.
So you came up, did you come up with something or just
Dilipa said, Machan, we'll take it like this. Do it quickly. We did it.
අපි මේ ඉන්න කළුවරු දුව කියන දූපතේ ඉස්සරහා මේ දූපතේ මහ අద్భుත මිනිහෙක් ඉන්නවලු. ගම්මු කියන විදිහට මේකෙන් රැට බොහොම දීප්තිමත් ටෝච් එකක් වේදෙනවලු.
පුදුම කියන්නේ ওই මිනිස්සයා කන්න බොන්න හොයාගන්නේ දූපතින්මනේ.
ඉඳලා හිටලා හරි ගොඩට එන්නේ ටෝච් එකට මේ જાතිය බැටරි කෑලි දෙක තුනක් අරන් යන්න විතරයි. හරි. ආයෙන දවසලා මිනිහ වල්ලගමු. එහෙමනම් ඉතින් මහතර තව කාලාන්තරයක් බලාගෙන ඉන්න වේවි. ඒ මොකද? අයි මහත්තයෝ එවරඩි රතු බැටරි ටෝච් එකට දැම්මම බොහොම කාලයක් පාවිච්චි කරන්න පුළුවන්.
I don't know, it came out so natural.
Yeah.
And it was
A lot of handheld movements and all, which you didn't see in ads those days. Were all very.
actually, they call me the guy who shake the camera.
Oh.
Those days I love shaking, and
But those are great because the transitions moved really well, right? I mean, now you get, everyone is doing it now, a template transition and the kind of, but you did it handheld and it was very, very well. So did you do a lot of work like that as well?
yeah, the same thing happened to us with Milleswar. We were in Roccaraso in Italy.
Right.
In the snow. Everybody has forgotten the script. From that moment onwards, we shot Milleswar without a script. Doesn't mean we didn't have a story. We had to.
So you knew what was happening, yeah.
But we didn't have any dialogue, nothing. But that was so great.
It came out quite natural.
I started improvising. Others
Yes.
just started improvising. Everybody started improvising, and I started improvising. Actors love up to these days when we are improvising. So
They're also great actors. Mahendra is actually, I want to one day get Mahendra here and have a chat to him. He's such a great actor, So
probably legendary.
of course,
Dude, yeah.
he is, and stuff like that. So okay, so that was with Milleswar and so on and so forth. So now let's get to the $1 million question, Boodee.
Okay. You have $1 million.
Okay, if you answer it right, I will give it to you. What is going on with the film industry? I mean, since the 90s, we have been on a lot of people may not like me saying this, but I'm only saying this because I really care for the film industry. Because in the 80s, 70s, India was copying us. We had some amazing movies. You came out in the 90s, you did some great stuff. I mean, there are a few people doing some good movies, but we had a thriving movie industry, What happened to it?
Yeah, we had a great movie industry. There were 2, 3, 4, 5 reasons to that. I mean, one of them, of course, the fact that I think the TV started coming. But that's more than that.
Is it the quality of the scripts and the actors, maybe? Or
Everybody is finding that because our quality of the movies went down. If you look at the people who are doing the creative stuff, their quality is not that great. So people start watching other films like even I started watching more Hollywood than non-Sri Lankan.
Right.
I mean, I love Tamil cinema.
yeah, of course.
Keerthisena. I love all the foreign movies. I mean, Korea to you name it, I love it. This was part of it too, because we were lacking. People started. There was a. I think I personally believe many people might not agree with me. There was a scheme going on through Film Corporation with the banks. They were giving loans to make movies. So I think what happened was everyone just took loans, but the movie was not the real reason. Maybe I mean also doing something else.
And then last minute they just put something together.
Yeah, this is my feeling. Okay, this is my feeling. So then the audience start losing confidence in us. Yeah. Okay.
Like a cricket team.
Yeah.
No, seriously, yeah. Because that's how I remember playing. I also watched, yes. So, yeah, how many losses can you take? Yeah.
So that started happening. So there was a time people sort of didn't want to deal with Sinhala films. They went for other movies.
Right.
So
And so many cinemas opened up in the country.
and also we did bad copying also. Indian movies, we would do the same copy.
Same thing, yeah.
Really like 40 times really.
Less quality, yeah.
I mean, if you are doing a copy, it should be almost equal or better. But these were really bad. So all these things came together.
Yeah.
And partly the TV also came. People like in Sri Lanka, people like somebody gives something for free.
Free, they take it. Get some amazing, yeah.
And 83 riots.
Oh.
Because cinemas, people stopped going to late night cinemas. Some cinemas got burnt down.
Right.
And then came 88 insurgency with AP or whatever it is. And then that also made people less
stay at home.
because there was no bus transport.
Of course.
At time, all these things
Had like a domino effect. I always thought that also we had a lot of great actors in the 80s and the 70s like Jo Abebikama, Sanat Gondilika, Ravinda Randenia, all the female actresses, Mali. I think they also aged. And then it came to the time in the 90s that they were also retiring one by one. So then we got a new group of actors. And I don't know if they were as good, I don't know, but as welcome to the industry as those great legends were. Now, for your movies, you always used really good actors. I remember even Milasoeva Sangeeta, right?
Yeah. And Milasoeva, I think, changed the acting style of Sri Lankan cinema.
Right.
We didn't think we are doing that.
Right.
When the film came out, everybody realized it has changed the style of performing in movies.
Another thing I want to address, Boodee, is now I've seen when I watch your movies, I know you pay a lot of attention to lighting because you're a fan of David Lynch, so you have to be into lighting because he was a wizard at lighting. And I remember once there was this thing that you were trying to make a movie with the iPhone, and I was following a documentary on that. Even that,
just of Ricky Dean.
Yes, and I remember you had put so much attention to lighting and to make it to stand up with those European Western quality movies. Why don't our filmmakers right now? Why are we still using the same color palettes, the same editing, why can't we, our people, or maybe they are and I don't know, why can't we aspire to be up there with the European movies, with the American movies? I mean, look at how Hindi cinema and Indian cinema are now, selling in Europe and all because there are kids in bedrooms today who are amazing colorists, right?
Yeah.
Amazing editors, But when we watch these movies, they're like, what's going on? They're still really bright. Why can't they be that real? I don't know. I mean, do you see that as well, or is it just me? I don't know.
I see.
Yeah. So can't we? Why? Boodee, you are like such a senior person in this industry. Can't you take it amongst yourself to meet all this? Let's say, look, we have to make a difference here. We have to increase. Aren't that the keyword?
No, it's like this.
You will become the bad guy.
No, because you see, the artists are always egoistic.
You mean like the directors and then filmmakers, obviously, yeah.
There are very few people who
listen.
And, Nobody like, even I don't like somebody come and say, like, this is not how you should do it, you will do this. But there are ways to tell it.
Of course, it depends on where it comes from. Yeah, how can I connect you with it? But if it's someone who really knows what they're talking about,
It's very difficult with that because there was an actor in Senior Deshin.
right?
I had to dub his entire delivery with Mr. Zarmasiri Bandana,
Right.
as voice. And I tried to, we got together and say, Macham, mehema karum. He didn't want to listen. So
Was he a bit of a reputed actor?
now he's really reputed. But so there are things like that.
Right. But just that, Boodee, I've just thought, look, now we are 2025, right? The 90s were like how long ago? Like a few decades ago. So, I mean, I know people are making movies right now, but I would love to see, people flocking to cinemas like back in the day. I remember back in the 80s, my parents were going to see like, Pooja and all these movies, I mean, do you think that there should be a certain thing like Netflix for Sri Lanka, where all these movies can go into a data bank and we can subscribe to? Now, for instance, I would love to watch your movies, again.
I was talking with your managing director a little while ago.
Right.
And I told him a problem we had is everything from our little days given for free.
Free, yes.
Okay? So there's only one way you can do it. Like, I'm watching some K-dramas and things like that on my iPhone, right? But those things I have to pay. But if you make an app in Sri Lanka to pay, nobody will pay. So you have to make sure you get cream soda people to pay for your film, ask for the ad, and give it free for the people out there. Then,
Like on YouTube or something like that.
yeah, you have to make it like a YouTube thing. Then they will watch.
No, I know what you mean. They'll pay for Sri Lanka.
So that has some other thing to do with our population. Out of 20 million people, how many people watch movies and how many people watch Sinhala stuff? So when you calculate, you have a problem.
But then look at our music industry, how it's thriving now.
Yeah, music.
Is it not the same? You can't use the same kind of...
Rock star is always bigger than a movie star. Around the world, you take Bono or Michael Jackson is bigger than Robert De Niro. But it doesn't mean Robert De Niro is small.
Yeah,
He's big.
But they reach what
He will be known everywhere. Madonna will be known everywhere. So this is
the problem.
music is larger than life because it's imagination. Film is something already said that you are watching it.
Right. You have to surrender to it.
Yeah. Music is like in just make us what do it whatever it is.
No, but I get what you mean. Sri Lankans have this thing. If for instance, if you release a song today, as Boodee do a comeback single, no one would really. But if you go to the UK and becomes a hit, then everyone will be like, oh my God, this is, I know Boodee, I know him. But Boodee, I really wish I also am dabbling with a script that I want to work on. Hopefully, I try to do it from 2019, 2020, and COVID hit. So this year I'm trying to do it, but I just think like we have the talent, the actors are there, and I've seen how these kids can edit and color and do. I mean, you work with a lot of young people, right?
Always work with young.
And we have great cinematographers, great gaffers, and so I just think it takes the right person to head the project. Someone like you who has so much influence. And on that subject, you haven't worked on a new movie?
I think like that Chandran is a great person because Chandran
Rathnam.
always giving young people a chance.
Right.
And he's got the he's a maestro of bringing Hollywood to Sri Lanka.
Right. Yes, it's Mel Kingsley and yeah.
That Steven Spielberg and John Lucas, the two biggest.
Yeah.
I mean, for Indiana Jones.
No, that's that Kepru Chandram, is it?
Oh wow, okay. He's the guy who put us in the really globe, like that.
Right.
So Chandran is a great. Even for my film, he gave me the equipment for free. I mean, he said,
Really, yeah?
Yeah, he said, okay, I'll take whatever the shot. But it's more than that, he just gave it to me. He's one of those very amazing people to work.
Right. Were you ever a Star Wars Lucas fan? No, you didn't get into Star Wars?
A big Star Wars fan.
Right.
I'm a huge Star.
Sad to see what's happened to it now. No, it's crazy.
You can live with the one 1, 2, 3, and then.
1, 2, 3, but even Rogue One was not bad.
Yeah, that's Rogue One was.
I think Rogue One and the 3, those are the, yeah.
Because Rogue One was a young dude. Young dude.
Gareth Edwards, yeah.
Stuff and blah, blah, blah. It was very grittily made.
Yeah, and he had the same kind of, the vibe was the same, you know. But then they kicked him out, you know, that's what to do. But
They really kicked him out?
yeah, actually, towards the end of Rogue One, they replaced him, right?
No.
Yes, they replaced him and they got someone else to come in, and I think Ron Howard came in at the end.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure that Gareth Edwards was the guy. He was very good, and I think towards the end of it, he had a disagreement with some of the Disney people, and but his name still goes on that, and I think Ron Howard came to finish it off. But he was really good. I mean, they should have got him for all the movies. You know, he really understood. And even there was a TV series recently called Andor. Did you watch? That was also pretty good. That's based on Rogue One.
That's a good one.
But the others were all pretty crap. But okay, so that's good. I mean, I think
I'm a huge Indiana Jones fan. Up to the first 3, and
I didn't even watch the last one. Last 2 I haven't watched. I mean, he's also old now. But okay, so that's good. Have you got any new projects happening, Boodee? Any new movies working on? How come you haven't had one in a while? Or have you had? And
it's very difficult to find investors.
Right.
And
what kind of investment would you be looking for if you would do this ballpark? I'm sure that I also know.
It depends
on the movie and the scope of the movie, right?
It depends. You know, sometimes you do hand-to-mouth budgets. If you can really get it done, then you can do it. And if you think, oh, I want to do this on that, and then it might take more money. So it always depends.
But I guess people are a bit wary of investing in the singular movies because the return also, they are thinking who's going to watch it. Singular movies don't do well.
A lot of cutthroats going on. Mahendra and Hema went to find a producer for one of our projects that they're both going to be in. Still probably in it. And Mahendra came back. Macha, mo 17 years ago nahi. Ah, oh macha keto walta kapala dalambo.
Nah.
So that is all happened.
But why do you think? Because you are a little bit out there and you are different, so they don't want to kind of let you in.
Could be because once I was asked to come and shape up certain things this is long time ago at Swarnamahin.
Right.
My fam, some of the big producer fans of mine and people who helped me, promote me, they immediately start closing their doors. When I walked in, they thought I'm coming to take their chairs.
Oh, right.
I had nothing planned like that.
Yeah, that is there in Sri Lanka, for sure. Everyone gets very threatened, right?
Yeah. People get...
But, Boodee, you know, are you there? That's what I'm saying. Maybe we should think about starting an online platform where the investment also is sorted out or something, and like something like a Netflix for Sri Lanka, you know?
You have to view it free.
Huh?
I'm telling you.
You think people won't invest?
No.
But you will subscribe.
Subscribing will be free.
But you haven't thought of sending your movies to Netflix, no? Like Singing a Deshe, Mila Soya and all that?
Though there are a lot of younger, talented people.
Oh, I'm sure I know you for that.
Like with Netflix.
You know. Hi, Boodee, I know you're stuck with them, so we're going to let you go. But I have to always say I've always been a fan. And
I love that song you posted once in... It's very new wavy and
I have a new couple of songs coming out this year. I send it out. You have to come for a concert and have a look. Thank you so much, and I appreciate you taking time off your day. I know you're a dad now and you're busy. Can't get to you on the phone also because your kids have your phone all the time. But I really honestly believe from the bottom of my heart, someone is going to change this movie industry. It's going to be you. You have to take some time and do it, Mala. You have to do it because you are a visionary and you see things differently, not like other directors who want to make the same old movie.
That's probably why I've started Buddhist School of Arts, because we are doing master classes. 2023, I got an Academy Award-winning filmmaker to come and do a master class.
Right.
And of course, last year I didn't lose anything because my father passed. And this year I'm planning to get Spencer Tunick. He's a world-renowned photographer and everything. So every year we are planning to get somebody, because otherwise those
people can't just learn.
Also get all loose.
And also you're doing a great service. You're going to do a great service to the people here. No, that's how you learn. You can learn from the best, right? and I mean, the importance in lighting and proper cinematography. I mean, it's so important, but I guess nowadays with the advent of DSLR, a lot of people are learning how the YouTube, people are learning from it and everything. But again, I strongly feel we need to see a new movie from you, Boodee. Even if we don't see it in the cinema, if the censor board doesn't approve it, we can watch it on some online platform. You have to go for it. Okay? All right, I will see you. So thank you so much. Take care. God bless. Cheers.
Bye.